So I thought I'd start off. This isn't a literal art material. I went to the Matisse exhibition and they were selling these mugs. I need a mug to put on my art table to put my pens in. So yeah, grab this. Love how it's got the red inside. So cute. It's gonna look so awesome on my art table. And because I live with my sister, who's also an artist, and I'm a lovely person, I got her the yellow version, which has a different picture on it, and I'll put that in. It's not really a picture, it's like a cutout shade that Matisse used in his collage work. And I'll have more about the Matisse exhibition coming up in a future video. I just thought I'd show you those as part of my art here. So I didn't do a lot of art shopping on this trip, probably less than I did on my previous trip, but I was very targeted in what I wanted to buy. And I'll start off with this art shop. I have never been there before and just saw them online and wanted to check them out, and they're called Gekkoso. Gecko, like the little lizard. It's so really lovely shop, just gorgeous. They had some lovely things in here. Well, this notebook, I'm still not sure if that's meant to be part of the design. I'll turn it over so it's, or whether someone's just come into the shop and started writing in the notebook. I mean, it doesn't have any kind of indentation in the paper, so I assume it's purposeful. This is meant to be watercolor paper. It was only 600 yen, so I think it's very high quality watercolor paper. I'm assuming it's not. That's pulp, and that, by the way, I will be telling you all the prices in this video in yen, in Japanese yen. I think that's the easiest because, like, if you're like me from Australia, there's not much difference in the like exchange rate, but for people in the the US dollar is really, really strong against the yen at the moment. So if I say, oh, this, 600, it's like $4 US, and you're watching this video in a year's time, it may not be the same. It might be completely different. So let's not get things all confused there. And so I'll just use yen and you can work it out for yourself. Bit of homework if you want to work out the prices. Okay, I got these. I've got a few water soluble crayon sets, but I like that these had very basic colors. I've got some that are more muted colors, and these are like going to be great just to have for getting those basic. Yeah, so like the greens and the reds. So there's 2 yellows, 2 reds, 2 greens, 2 blues, a pink, a brown, a black, and a white. I know when I was doing Burb Fest this year, I was really struggling because I didn't have some, like, just when you want a basic blue, a cobalt blue, and you've got like all these muted blues and sort of interesting blue shades, but sometimes you just want cobalt blue. You don't want fancy stuff. So yeah, they came in this nice little pack, this nice little box, beautifully packaged, and it has this band that goes like that, which I really like because something like that's something I'd lose otherwise. So I got the sketchbook, I got the crayons, and then I grabbed a few like different art materials. I got these four that are gouache. I was really looking for colors that we don't have. I love this blue. I will swatch these later, but yeah, the compose blue, the cadmium, oh yeah, cadmium green light. It's confusing because I've got it in French. Then this Caran rose. We don't actually have a pink in the gouache, in just gouache. Got some in acrylic gouache, but not in gouache. And then Prussian blue, just because I wanted the darker blue. Then just to try things out, I got a couple of, well, I got this one that's a watercolor, not a wash, and that's green deep. I didn't want to buy too many watercolors because I've got a lot of watercolors already, and I feel like I don't want to buy like similar colors just for the sake of having a different material. Like I'd much rather just get something new that I can use. And then these are acrylic wash. So green, very similar to that green. I think they're basically the same color. This one's a bit lighter, but yeah, the green and the violet cobalt rose. So those, there's some paints. Yeah, I'll swatch those later. And then while I was there, I grabbed a few other little bits and pieces. A water brush to try out. I've got a few water brushes, but you can never have too many. Eraser. I don't have an eraser with me, and I had been doing some stuff in pencil, so I thought it'd be good to grab one. It was only cheap. And I bought a pencil sharpener that only had the small hole, which has been really frustrating. So I got this. It's really nice. It's got that cover on there, so I've been using it already. Yeah, it keeps all your sharpenings nice and not everywhere. And then you can just empty those out when you're ready. And it's very sharp. It takes very little effort to sharpen my pencils, and that's something I really like. And last but definitely not least, I'm really excited about this guy. It's a water bottle, a little water bottle, and a little water container, and it fits inside there. So if you're going out sketching, you just pop that in your bag. It takes up very little space. And then, yeah, you've got this water container. You could have two actually, so you could have one to wash your brushes and one to color mix. But yeah, I really want to test that out in the next few days and go out and do some sketching. So that was all at Gekkoso, and yeah, I will be swatching those. So stay tuned, and we'll go on to the wash shopping. On to the acrylic wash. So first of all, I'd like to talk about Sekaido. Sekaido is where I went to buy my acrylic gouache. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Sekaido. Some of you have probably been there yourself. It's one of the biggest art shops in the world, like biggest art shop in Tokyo, and yeah, definitely would have to be one of the biggest in the world. It's got really great prices on Japanese brands like Turner and Holbein, and got some great products. But what a lot of people don't say is that it is a absolute nightmare. Oh, I hate that shop. And then I forget how much I hate it, and I go back and it's still a nightmare. And so I went yesterday, and on top of it being the normal nightmare, I'm getting over. I had a really bad cold. I was completely wiped out for a couple of days and still not feeling 100%. And I'm still walking with my walking stick, so I'm not very stable at all. Just the Kaido to do the shopping for my acrylic gouache and some other things. And yeah, it was just a hellscape, an absolute hellscape. I'm sorry, but it was so awful. And it's Golden Week here, which is when it's a big holiday week. Like there's all these public holidays for a week. Most Japanese people, well, a lot of Japanese people have the week off work. Obviously, not if you work in customer service or anything like that. And plus, the amount of tourism in this city at the moment is just out of control. Like, I think they're going to have to start doing something about it. Too many people, just way too many people. So, yeah, and then I get into Sekaido, which, as I said, is bad at the best of times. They have, it's very tightly packed, very narrow aisles, and no air circulation. And I don't know, maybe I'm just being a bit fussy about this, but I really like oxygen. I really, really like oxygen. I really, love it. Like to be able to breathe. And so, yeah, I went and sort of like be a big, brave soldier. You can do it. Rev myself up. Went to the second floor, got all the acrylic gouache on my shopping list. And then when I finished paid for all that, then popped up to the third floor. They have acrylic gouache on the second floor, regular gouache on the third floor. And I had a shopping list for my sister of stuff she wanted, that kind of thing. Got to the third floor and I was just feeling terrible. So I have to get out of here. I just have to get out of here now. And like, even if I'd been able to buy the stuff for her, there was a queue going right around the shop. It was this massive, massive queue for the registers. So, yeah, I couldn't have made it. I couldn't have done it. Sorry, ad, but I didn't get your gouache. And there's a few things that I want to look at there as well. One of them was the Kuretake Watercolours, but I managed to get them on Amazon, the set I wanted on Amazon for the same price. So that's a tip if you're ever traveling in Japan. Check Amazon Japan. You can get stuff delivered to your apartment or your hotel or wherever you're staying, and that's a lot easier. I mean, also with Sekaido, if you're the sort of person that has like social anxiety, you have panic attacks or anything that would make going somewhere that crowded and sort of claustrophobic a problem for you, they have an online shop. I would, yeah, if I thought it was going to be a problem, which I do think it is now. So maybe next time I come to Japan, instead of going in there and going through all that, I might just, before I come, put in an online order. It says it takes about 2 weeks, so it's too late for me to do that now. But put in an online order to get sent to where I'm staying, to my accommodation, and then, yeah, rock up to Japan. All my art materials are there, pre-shop for me. So let's get on to what I've got here. I did a previous video with all my gouache, and in that I went through and was looking at what I needed to restock, and what I needed, there were a few things like the darker brown that yeah, like sort of gaps in my color palette that I had at home, so I was filling that in. So yeah, the vermilion, I didn't have a really strong red, and I thought the vermilion would be great. One tip, if you're buying art materials here, especially like this size, the Holbein are so much easier to buy than the Turner. The Turner ones are all facing that way on the display. I hope that's coming up nicely, like facing this way. And so you have to turn them around, every single one around, to read the English. I mean, I guess you could learn the Japanese names, but who's going to do that? Whereas Holbein have them all sitting there, English, right there. Love English. It's my favorite language because I know how to speak it. So English right there. And they also have the tag in front of the stock with the name in English. So Holbein are a lot more English speaker friendly. They also have it in, is that French? Vermilion. Vermilion. So yeah, I got the vermilion. Then I got the light green. This, yeah, I didn't have a green, like I had a few sort of variations on green, but not the green. Magenta, because I really wanted a magenta. Like I didn't have a magenta, and it's a great color. It says fluorescent on this, so I hope it's not too bright. Well, it's going to be bright. I just things that are a bit too shiny. But umber, because I didn't have darker brown. Deep purple. I was gonna make a joke and sing a deep purple song, but I'm too young to know any of their songs. I just know that they're a band that was around in the olden days. The Holbein gouache, I was gonna get, we've got the Turner enamel in like the little tubes, but you can only get it in this size tube, and I had it in my basket, and then I saw the beige, which is pretty much the same color. And so I thought that would be a better alternative. And then I spoke to my sister Anne about it last night, and she said that she's actually thought of buying this, but because we had the enamel and they were so similar, she thought it would be just redundant. So glad I got that. It's a lot bigger. And next up, Prussian blue. I might as well get a big chonker of that, because that's, yeah, one of those colors you always use. Such a good basic mixing color. Then I got night blue. I'm not sure why I put that on my list, but I must have had a reason. I mean, it's not like I need more blues, but still. And then this is one of the Japanese colors. It's dark brown. I think I got this and then I got that and I forgot to put this one back. So now I've got two darker shades of brown, but we'll live. Then JE Blue Black. Love that. We go through so much of this because it's such a gorgeous color. There's also the black blue, which I couldn't find. But yeah, I just got that. And unfortunately, the Japanese colors only come in this size, which is 200 mil, which, you know, with this blue black, I could, yeah, have a chonkin great one of that and wouldn't waste any of it. And then I got the Japanese red blacks that sounded really intriguing. And then this is, look at this. I thought this one was a big chonker. This guy, it's not even in a tube. It's in, what do you call these things? I call it like a little plastic bag, I guess. But yeah, we're thinking maybe of putting some of this into another container, distilling it into that so that we're not trying to tip out of here and then you get like, you know, your palette full of wet paint and waste half of it. But yeah, I was really impressed with that. And last but not least, it's kind of least because it was just something I picked up on my way walking down the aisle, is this blue ink art brush, which, yeah, I was quite interested in, quite intrigued by. I've bought a lot of these ink brushes before. I've made some myself just using water pens, and I never use them that much, but I should because I really enjoy using them, and they're really fun. I think the thing that puts me off is sometimes they start leaking. I use them. I do use them for life drawing. They're great for life drawing if you're doing those quick, like, you know, 2 minute or 5 minute sketches. Totally recommend using any pen. You can get so much happening in a short time. So let's swatch. Hey, I've made an executive decision here. I'm not sure if you're going to be angry with me for this. But I don't think I'll swatch the gouache colors, the Turner and Holbein, just because, like, I've done a whole video on swatching my gouaches and a lot of these are restocks. I might swatch some of the new to me colors. Yeah, I just don't want to have a video that's doing the same old, same old. I really do want to swatch these new ones. Pen, here it is. I've got this special pen. When I went to Sekaido, which I showed on my last video, I got a free gift and it was this pen. I got some stickers too, and I have no idea where I've put them. I'm just going to try and get the colour out of the lid so that... I'm pretty sure I had lipstick this colour when I was like 16 years old. I decided to get a real brush to use for this instead of just using the water brush. So yeah. 16-year-old lipstick. And this was gouache. This was the gouache. The regular gouache, not acrylic. Just want to get a little bit thicker so I can see. It's kind of hard because they're such small tubes, so I don't want to use up too much in swatching. But I do want to see just how pigmented they are. And this is why I always run out of space when I'm swatching. But the next one is, I'll do all the washes first. Let's go with Prussian blue. I'll try not to do so much of this one. So yeah, that's undiluted. That is dark. I used this colour the other day and I'm kind of disappointed in it. I feel it's very watery. If we compare it to the red, the pink and the Prussian blue, it's sort of, yeah, there's not much to it at all. If I'm getting that straight from the tube, that is probably more watery than I'd want to use, and that's without diluting it. So I kind of feel like this composed blue is a bit of a washout. I mean, if you compare that to the Turner and the Holbein. No comparison at all, really. I would just not even bother with it. Soz, but that's my honest feelings. This colour, this green, like how gorgeous is that? Um, this green and this pink. Doesn't take much dilution with this to get it very pale though. Like probably straight from the tube. Like I would use that straight from the tube. That colour, that green is not too strong for me to use, whereas that Prussian blue, there's no way you could use it straight from the tube. It would be crazy. Next, this is a watercolour, so it'll be good to see how this works as watercolour paper. In the shop, I am sure this was much more of a blue-green, but that doesn't look like a blue-green at all. There's nothing blue about this green. The green that I don't normally like, but after going to the Matisse exhibition, he used greens like this quite a bit, and that made me like them more. But look, if my friend Matisse uses them, they can't be bad. And this one, this is the acrylic gouache. Ooh, interesting, very interesting color. When I was in the shop, the girl was running up my order and she was kind of like, oh, you realize that's acrylic gouache and that one's watercolor and that one's, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. It's just me experimenting with your materials. I mean, it's good to have different things to play with when you're like, it's a new to you material. You really want to have that variety of stuff so that you can see what works for you. And to be honest, I'm going to be like brutally honest here. I wouldn't buy these again. I'll put the prices up. They weren't super cheap, especially for the really small size of the tubes. And I really don't think that, yeah, like this one, very disappointed in. The pink, disappointment. No, I'm not disappointed in the pink. Yeah, I swear that green was more of a blue-green in the shop. Squeeze, and ink comes out. So I'll keep squeezing it until I see some colour on the brush. Ah, here it comes. Come on, little Linky. Come on, little Linky. Oh, it's coming down to the brush now. Lately, so that I really can't be bothered. But I've been using pencil a lot and mainly taking pencils out with me. But then I get, like, I don't want to do a whole sky in pencil. I just don't want to lay down a lot of colour in pencil. I would rather put in later or use, yeah, ink or paint or something. But I also don't like taking a lot of materials out with me. I've really been having trouble lately, like, because I'm not walking properly and then having a bag that sort of tilts my body, makes me lean, has, yeah, been screwing around with things too. So that's all these swatched. And now I'll turn off the camera, write the names, and come back with names written. Tyrian Rose, these are all gouaches, Prussian Blue, Compost Blue, and Cadmium Light Green in the gouache. Regular gouache. We've got Green Deep Acrylic Gouache, Green Deep Watercolor. That's how that's turned out with dropping the colour in. And the Violet Cobalt Rose in the Acrylic Gouache. And as I said, I don't think I'd buy these again. They're not all that at a bag of chips. They're not the sort of thing that, they're not, what am I trying to say here? They're not the quality that I would have expected from the price they cost. That is what I'm trying to say, exactly what I'm trying to say. Like if they had been about $1 a tube, maybe, but I think they were a lot more than that. I'll get the receipt and then I can double check. And yeah, so a bit disappointing really. I'm just trying to layer over them, and I'm going to grab those crayons because I didn't swatch the crayons, but I might do that now. Put these away. So yellow light, I won't bother writing the names on these because I've got this here. Yellow orange. Cadmine, carmine, what do I call it? Magenta. A lot of magentas in this haul, a lot of magentas. Green light, Birdian, cerulean blue, and cobalt blue. Then the Gekkoso pink, burnt umber, ivory black, and titanium white. So these are just a secret. Yeah, they're very soft, very smooth to use, very nice feel to them. I might just grab some water and give them a bit of a, see how they go there, because they're water soluble. Water solubility seems to be quite good. I don't like it when you use water and stuff and you've got the sort of stain underneath the previous, like, kind of like this where you've got the shadow of where you'd first laid the colour down. These actually seem to be better to use than what the paints were. I'm calling it better than the paints. There is a bit of the shadow underneath with these, but not a lot. Oh, that one actually has a lot. I mean, I'm assuming if you work anything hard enough, you get rid of that. And also if you put down the colour, like a light layer of colour, not a thick layer, then yeah. But yeah, they're quite nice. I could see them coming in handy for a lot of things. And as I said, I didn't have those basic primaries for Burfest when I was using crayons, so now I've got some crayons that are just a really good basic mixing set that will really help. I mean, I had some, but they were like the jumbo crayons that are like, yeah, and they were kind of annoying to use. Fun, but sometimes annoying if you're trying to get detailed work. I do love layering. Swatching and layering, it's so satisfying. Okay, I'll stop right there. And one last thing, which was, I think I will, there's some of those purples in that I would like to swatch of the acrylics, so I'll do those because they're ones I haven't swatched before. But yeah, the others, I mean, if you really want me to swatch them, leave a comment and I will. I'm always open to suggestions, and especially, you know, swatch your colors. Like, hell yeah, okay. If you insist, I will do some more swatching. But yeah, I like that magenta. I thought that when it said floral, it might be a bit disastrous, but no, that's just nice and bright. It's the right level of fluoro. It's like bright without being glow in the dark. Now the deep purple, these two might be quite similar. I might have just got a bit carried away with my purple. No, that's so deep. So much. When you dilute it, it's very similar. Which I probably didn't need these. I'm just thinking, I've won that set of Van Gogh watercolors in pinks and purples. So I've got a lot of purples in that, but still good to have it in the acrylic gouache. I don't know, maybe I was just going through a purple phase when I wrote my shopping list. So yeah, that was magenta and deep purple and the vermilion. I feel like I need to go out and do some painting of a Japanese shrine now that I've got this. So I can do the Torii gates, you know, like gates like that. And yeah, I wonder if there's a shrine nearby. I saw one the other day. I'll put this maybe in my vlog roundup. It was like in Ginza, just this shrine by the side of the street, and it was you had all the shrines set up, so go and do your worshipping, and they also had English instructions of, you know, the clap twice, bow, I think something like that, the whole ritual. And it had a vending machine, so you could buy all your little charms and all that kind of thing, which I thought was kind of cute. But then I thought, they're 2,000 yen. It's $20 Australian money. My $20 has things it's needed for sushi and that kind of thing, not for temple bits and pieces. Religion's such a business here. Like, it's a for-profit thing, not a non-profit. It's, yeah, it's all about trying to sell you stuff and kind of thing. I was really shocked. Years ago, I was in Nagasaki, and there's a Catholic church there. I think it was the first Catholic church built in Japan. And so I was going to go and have a look, and you had to pay an entrance fee. I was kind of like, you have to pay an entrance fee to go to a church? I mean, I guess if you go to somewhere like the Vatican you do, but not just a regular church. I wonder if you want to go into, like, just pray, if you're a parishioner, if you have to pay, or whether they have some kind of exception for that. So yeah, they're all the colours that I hadn't swatched before. I like them. I like this midnight blue. I love it. I love it so much. I kind of like all these colours together. They're working really well. And I might leave that there for today. Tomorrow, when my Kuretake watercolours turn up, I will add a bit onto the end of this video to show you those. And I probably won't buy anything else. I won't. I don't need anything else. I won't buy anything else. This is it. But who knows? Okay, thanks for watching this far, and stick around for that Kuretake stuff that I'll be filming tomorrow. Part 2 of my whole video, and as I mentioned, I bought more stuff. I got this Kuretake Gansai Tambi palette. I was quite interested in this. When I first started water painting,
watercolor painting, I was using the Kuretake paints, and then I sort of, like, no one else was using them back then, and I sort of thought, oh, maybe these are a bit not good because no one's using them, and I should get, like, you know, the Daniel Smith or Sennelier, like one of those brands that everyone was using because, you know, peak group pressure and all that. And so I ended up, like, some of mine I even ground up and like put into smaller palettes and things, not smaller palettes, smaller paint pans. And so yeah, now I'd like to revisit them and see how I go. This is the Art Nouveau palette, and I really love these colors. This one I love, this one I love, the red I love, this one. These might feature in one of my limited color palettes in the future. Now I've decided with these, because I'm about to go home and I don't want to use these, well, I'm not going to have a chance to use these before I get home. What I might do is not swatch these today, but I will do it in an upcoming video. So like one of my vlogs, we'll do a full swatching of these, and yeah, then I won't have them opened. They'll still be in pristine condition when I get home. So I'm just hoping, oh no, oh no, that guy fell out. Not a big deal. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the lid from, like, it's sitting inside the lid, and maybe if I do it there where it's got the handhold, I can put, oh, I'm a bit clumsy at the moment. I've been sick. I don't know, I've probably mentioned this like 500 times already, but yeah, I've been sick for over a week. I barely left my apartment, and oh, I took tablets today. I don't like taking cold and flu tablets because I feel like they can make you not recover naturally. Like, you know, if your body needs rest, your body needs rest. And yeah, but I did take them today. So on the lid, it's got all the palette and it's got a little space to swatch. So I will fill that in a later video. If you want to make sure you don't miss that, and you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe bell down the bottom, and then you'll know when I have that ready to go. And I'll put that back in the plastic, but I might do that off camera. Now, I went to the pigment store. I wasn't really intending to go there, and the only real reason I did was, as I said, I've been sick, but this store is really close to where I'm staying. It was, yeah, not that far, and I knew that it would cost me about less than $20 to get a cab home, which was a really big thing. Like, I went to the Tennozu Island, is where the store is, Pigment, and I'd been there before. I knew there was lots of good sketching places, so I thought I'll pop over, pay Pigment a visit, and do some sketching, and then I can get a cab home if I'm feeling too worn out. So that's a very long story about why I went to Pigment. And yeah, I was just going to have a look. I ended up buying these. I'm very interested in these and experimenting with them. They're called Pigment Paste. And from what I can gather, if you've ever seen people doing handmade paints, making their own paints, there's this whole process where you have like the pigment on glass and you're sort of grinding it with a little round thing. I'm not really sure the technical terms, but yeah, lots of work in that part of the process. And I think what this does is bypass that. So you just have this pigment paste, and then you have your binder, like gum arabic for watercolor or whatever. I don't know what you use for acrylic paint. Yeah, you do a one-on-one mix with the binder just in your palette, and you can create different paints. So very, very keen to play with that. I'd like to play around with some tempera, not tempura. I also like tempura, but yeah, tempera, I'd like the paints that are made with egg yolk and see how they work. I want to research though to make sure, you know, you don't have a painting that smells like rotten egg in a few days' time after you've painted it. So yeah, again, I will do a whole video about playing around with the pigments and making my own paints, and using different binders to bind those. It's going to be fun. I'm pretty excited about it. Anyway, so thanks for watching my art haul. Sorry I've been a bit sick and low energy for this whole video, but I am very excited to get home and have all these new art materials. I just left Kakamori. I was sitting outside and I didn't buy a thing, even though they've got lots of stuff that I'm a total sucker for, like inks and crayons and, God, my hair looks terrible today, and all that kind of thing, notebooks. I'm strong. I am so strong. If you've enjoyed my video, thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe. And otherwise, I'll see you next time for more exciting and fun videos with sketching the world.